I hope you will enjoy this first episode of Season 3 of Twit, and also enjoy the look of the nice new bookcase I've got here, which just makes things a little bit more interesting looking. I've always wanted to be able to do videos where I have some shelves behind me with some stuff on that people can look at and squint at and think, oh, is that, oh, have I got that book over there, or I don't know, oh, which one of the Hellboy is that there, oh, I wonder. So yeah, that's that there. You can see it, I don't need to talk about it anymore. What I am here to talk about today is, of course, a few more lovely robots that I've got. While it sort of seems like I've probably gone and slipped out of the whole Unicron trilogy foray that I went and dug myself into, everything I'm going to show you here is from those years again. So I guess it still sort of thunders on, and that's certainly not a bad thing. First up, I've got a couple of Cybertron Legends figures, mainly because back in the day of 2005, 2006, when I found these things in Tesco's and thought, oh my god, I can spend the same amount of money as I would on a packet of Pokemon cards for a Transformer, and proceeded to just sort of end up spending almost all my pocket money on them, and I got almost all of them. I did sort of make a pledge and said, right, I'm going to get all of these, I can, and I will, and I'm going to get every single one. And I did for the first two waves, and then it got to the third and fourth ones, and they were a bit jumbled up and harder to find, and they seemed to drop off the face of the earth relatively quickly. So I was left with three figures that I still couldn't find, and they've sort of been on my wants list for years, and I suddenly decided, you know what, I'm actually going to try and find them. And I managed to find a couple for a good price, but I still need one. That one elusive repaint is still out there that I need to get, and I think I've found one on eBay. It's a relatively good price, but it's still going to work out being the most expensive one I've bought. I guess that's the way it goes when it's the very last one you need. It's always going to be the most expensive, isn't it? But anyway, I have Galvatron, the odd sort of grey repaint of Megatron. Actually looks more like Megatron than Megatron did. It's nice, you know, these Cybertron Legends figures, yeah, they're pretty basic. The sort of Cyberverse stuff you get now is light years ahead of this, but it's still really nice and I really like it. It's made out of all this sort of, you can't really tell, the light's a bit odd with this different camera angle. It's a sort of very light silver plastic and it's quite nice, yeah. In a way it almost looks a bit cheap, like a bit like default grey, but it isn't. It's relatively lustrous and it looks good, and then the sort of rest of the paint apps you've got going on here pop quite nicely in sort of red and black, and he's got a purple face, and it just looks nice, you know. Cybertron Galvatron, it's only the third ever Galvatron I've got and the only Legends class one, so that's good. The slight downside that came with him though was that he was in a box with 4 others, which I have on eBay and I'm selling, and to be honest they're probably already sold, and I ended up paying like, it was like £9.50 for the lot. Essentially I paid nearly a tenner just for this guy, but I can recoup the costs and wangle it about, and it's okay. I think at the end of it all, once I've sold the stuff, I've got him for a good price, and I'm glad about that. The next one, which is another repaint, it's only the repaints I've got. I've got all of the sort of original moulds and all that. I got this guy for a stunningly good price. I mean, if I think about it, I got him for pretty much the price he would have been on a shelf back in 2006. It's another Hotshot. It's a red one, which basically is a bit confusing because surely this should be a Legends Excellion, not Hotshot. But on the box he's Hotshot, so to me he's going to be Hotshot, and he's going to live on the Hotshot shelf, so, you know, it's nice. Of course, this mould is one of the objectively worst ones of the Cybertron Legends, which is a bit of a shame because of course Hotshot should be the best one. But it's still quite nice. It's a very sort of Rodimus sort of look with all the red and orange, and then you can take it one step further and put the fins out on his back and make him look even more Rodimus-ish. But again, you know, it's not the best, but I really like it because it's like going back to those days and completing the collection, and he came within such a sort of short time window that Galvatron did as well, that I had the chance to enjoy both of them still in their packaging and just think, yeah, I can imagine I've just gone and bought these, and that was just nice. Nice bit of nostalgia. But he's nice. The only real downside that I can see is why is his chest sort of black. I'm sure they should have used this motif to simulate the flames that Hot Rod should have on his chest. That would have been good. But he's nice. He's got the sort of exhaust pipe guns painted in there. And when he's a car, you know, this is like the closest thing to a proper Legends Hot Rod I think we ever really see. I know they did one properly, gave him his own mould, but look at that. Flames on the front, bright blue windows. You can't really go wrong with that. And then I had another parcel from Matter Smasher, which arrived incredibly quickly. I think he must have actually sent it before he asked me to pay for it, because I paid for it and the day after it arrived and I was a bit like, whoa, this is quick, was not expecting that. But again, I've got some nice figures here that I've been wanting for a long time. The first sort of one that caught my eye when Matter Smasher put up a little picture and said, who wants this stuff? And I saw it, pinpointed it straight away and went, I want that one. It's Energon Downshift. Oh, I've got to remember to hold things in my other hand here. Yeah, the good old Wheeljack wannabe from Days Gone By. I'm pretty sort of glad I didn't spend a lot of money on him. I had been looking at a few that were like in package on eBay, and I'm pretty glad I didn't go down that route, because while I've wanted this, like Towline, while I've wanted this guy for so long, he's pretty disappointing, I've got to say. Oh dear, it's a shame, because I do still like him because of the whole nostalgia factor. It's a nice big chunky robot, but he's like one of the crap Energon Autobots. His legs just don't really work. That's all they do, or you know, that way, and that just looks wrong because it's all bending in the middle of his thigh. He hasn't got any knees, he hasn't got any hips. It's weird joint here. His feet can sort of move and he does that. There's not enough going on here joint wise, and he has loads of kibble as well. He's got loads of stuff hanging off the back of his legs and his back, and this one didn't come with his guns either, and some of the paintwork's a bit scratched up. There should be an Autobot symbol visible on his chest here, but you probably won't be able to see it because there's nothing red there anymore. So, a bit sort of hit and miss, but I still quite like him because it's just another sturdy robot. Yeah, you can't get him into any good poses, but at least he looks good just sort of standing there. He's a sort of imposing figure, I guess. The car mode is definitely the best bit of that figure. It's just a lovely white, red and green rally car. It just looks good. And it looks a lot better than his robot mode, really. And then on to, I suppose, the main event of that package. Really, Downshift was the main event. He was the one I sort of saw and went, oh, I want him. And then Colin got back to me and said, I've got this other guy. I can't remember what it's called. It's this dude. And I was like, oh, is it this one? And then when he remembered what it was called, I was like, well, yeah, put him in the box. I got Cybertron Crumple Zone. Look at this hulking, just hulk of a guy. I really like this. This is another figure that I guess I sort of wanted at the time. I remember seeing quite a few around back in the day and sort of thought, ooh, do I want him? I don't really know. And of course I never did get him. But now I have him, and now the element of nostalgia is on my side. I can appreciate him a bit more. He is just, you know, a big gorilla of a guy. He's got, his arms are just way bigger than his stumpy little legs down here. The proportions are comical, but they give him a lot of character. And he's got the sort of underbite face. He can make Gurn because you can move his jaw. There's a lot to like here. He's a lot of fun. And then when you get the whole swing over his shoulders, massive cannons affair going on, yeah, he's just fun. Look at that. That's just good. It's good. You might notice I released these with my own hand. I didn't use the key. I suppose I should show you why. Basically because it startled me the first time I did it. Actually no, it was the second time I did it. First time I put the key in, cannon swung over, nothing else happened. Second time I did it, this happened. And I was quite startled by the amount of noise that came from this guy. I knew he had electronics. Actually no, at the time I did that it hadn't even crossed my mind to look at his back and think there's a speaker in here. I'd completely sort of overlooked that and forgotten about it all, and was quite shocked to find that level of sound chippiness inside him. So it's safe to say either I'll take the batteries out or never use the key again, because that's the only thing that activates the noise. But I suppose it's fun. Yeah, in an annoying kind of way. But I have to say, the best thing I like about this guy, and it's a bit odd, I'm just going to go on a little tangent here. It's a bit odd that I ended up getting this guy just when he seemed to have made a couple more video appearances around the YouTubes. I know that Lee used this guy to demonstrate sort of modern G1-iness, and that is a reason why I like him. He's just a nice big chunk of a thing, laden with click, and he's just burly, yeah. Nice big bot. There are not really enough hulking Decepticons in my collection. I'm not entirely sure there are enough, full stop. But this is just another one to go along the likes of Tidal Wave and Lugnut. And when you consider that this guy was a Voyager back in 2005, it's a bit mind-blowing because he is colossal. He's got to be closer to sort of ultra class, especially in vehicle mode, because that thing is huge. I mean, look at that. It's... I could probably use it to cover up my entire face. It's pretty big, yep. And when you put it up against more modern Voyager figures, you just see how the times have changed. When this cost you 20 quid, it's just amazing to see the sort of state of play these days when you can pay 22 for a figure that's meant to be the same size class that ends up just, no, it's not the same thing. This has got electronics, it's massive, it should be worth so much more money, and damn, why did I just overlook this line? So many Cybertron figures, I just went, nah, I don't really like that. I wish I could go back in time, take hold of my 12-year-old self, give him a good hard slap across the face and say, what the hell is wrong with you? Buy these things, they're such good value for money. In 8 years time you're going to be wondering why the hell you didn't, and you're going to look at all the stuff that's on the shelves and just think, that's cack. Why hasn't it got more plastic? So yeah, if you hadn't guessed, I quite like Crumple Zone, and I'd still like to get more Cybertron figures. There is still a wealth of them I don't have. I've said that so many times, and it still stays true no matter how many more I get. So that's your lot for now. I hope you enjoyed my Constructbox Soundwave review, which I have uploading right now. Yeah, sorry it was a bit long, but I really wanted to take an in-depth look at that thing, and I think it paid off. I haven't seen any other reviews that were as extensive as that, so maybe there's an advantage there. I don't know. I'd still like to put out one more review that I have in the pipeline that has sort of been a bit with being able to film it. I filmed it and then the camera suddenly decided that there wasn't any memory left in it. So yeah, gonna have to sort that out. But keep your eyes peeled, there might be some more stuff coming relatively soon. But as far as I know, there might not be just yet. See ya!